Hello everyone, so welcome back to the part 2 of our top 100 SQL interview question playlist. I got a really good response on the first video. If you haven't watched it, go and check it right now and solve those SQL questions. And I'm expecting same kind of love and support from you guys for all these upcoming videos of this playlist. So before starting the video, like this video quickly. And in the part 2 of SQL playlist, I am going to solve 4 SQL questions again, and all these 4 questions will be from the medium category, and I am referring these top 100 SQL practice question from Code Studio platform by Coding Ninja, and you can also practice the same, and I have also provided the link for the same in the video description, so you can also check it out. And again, I'm repeating the rule here. So whatever question I'm explaining and writing the solution for it, so you first need to understand the problem statement, and before watching my solution, try it by your own, attempt that question by your own, write your own solution, paste it in the comment section, and then after that you should watch the solution so that you can compare how accurate you are now solving SQL queries. So now let's get started. So this is the first question from the medium category, customers who bought all the products. So let's first understand the problem statement, the input data, and then let's try to solve this question. What is the expected output? So first we have a customer table and it has 2 columns, customer ID and product key. Product key is a foreign key to a product table, like the primary key and foreign key concepts here. So table product, here we have only one column named as the product key, and product key is the primary key column for this table. So what we are supposed to do here, write a SQL query for a report that provides the customer IDs from the customer table that bought all the products in the product table, right? And in the output, we need to present this result in any of the order, any random order of the customer IDs it can have. So let's look at the customer table data. So here we can see we have customer ID 1, 2, 3, 3, 1. And these are the product keys, right? And here in the product table, we can see only 2 products are available and the key is 5 and 6. So according to this table, whatever the question has been asked, so according to that, here you can see like the entries for the customer, because if we have a catalog, if you even refer any e-commerce website or from anywhere you do the window shopping, so there as a customer, you have multiple options, multiple products to buy, and each product will have a unique ID. So here, let's say in this catalog, we have only 2 products, 5 and 6. And this is the entry for the customer who have placed the order for these product keys. So we need to identify who all those customers are who have purchased all the products from this product table. So in the output, you can see we have output as 1 and 3. So let's verify. Here we can see customer 1, there are 2 entries for it. One where this customer bought product 5 and another where it bought product 6. For customer 2, you can see it has only purchased the product 6, not 5. Definitely this will not be included in the output because it is not buying all the products from this table. So first let me explain the logic for that one, that how we can solve it with the basic operations. We simply need to do a comparison, right? If somehow we can do a group by on a customer ID, and for each group of customer, right, if we can calculate the distinct count of products that particular customer has bought, and if we can check whether that value is equal to the total number of products available here, so whatever customer IDs who are satisfying that condition after doing the group by, that is something which we need as output. So in our output, what we need, we only need the customer ID. So select customer ID and from customer table, right? After that, what I said, we need to do some sort of the group by operation, and that group by will be happening on the customer ID. We want to group it on customer ID, and we will be using the having clause, right? So that's what I said. For each group, we need to check this equality condition with the total count available in this product table. Having count distinct product key, and this should be equal to select count star from the product table. Okay, so select customer ID from customer table, group by customer ID, and then we are using having clause. In having, we are checking the count of distinct product key for each group of customer, and then we are trying to check, or we are trying to compare this value whether it is equal to the number of all product keys available in this product table, because this is the primary key, product key, so these values will not even be duplicated. So here simple count star will work for us. So let's execute this one and verify our output. So here you can see customer ID 1 and 3. That was the expected output, and we are getting the same. So now let's move on to our next question. So here is the second question from the medium category, and here the problem statement is the running total for different genders. So first let's look at the data, the tables. So we have one table named as the scores, right? So it has 4 columns. One is player name, second is gender, third is day, fourth is the score points. Here gender comma day is the primary key for this particular table. A competition is held between female team and male team. Each row of this table indicates that a player name with gender has scored a score point on a particular day, right? So gender is F if the player is female, it will be M if the player is male. So write a SQL query to find the total score for each gender at each day. Order the result table by gender and day. So that is the expectation here. And here we can look at the data, and then I will explain that what is the expectation here with respect to the output. So this is the player, you can say female, and this entry, each entry means, let's say Aaron, right, which is a female player. On this particular day, how much points she scored, right? And similarly, if we, let's say, go for Kali, right, his gender is male. So on this particular date, how much score this guy actually scored, right? So this is the data given, and here the problem statement or the actual query we need to write for each gender group, for each group of gender, what you can say, right, we need to calculate the running sum here, right? If you simply focus on this data, so ultimately it is a running sum based on the order of the dates, right? So the first minimum date for this particular group of the gender, which is female, right? If you look at this record, this one and this one, so the minimum date will be this one, 30th of December 2019, right? The second largest date will be this one, again this one, and again this one. So now if you start from this point, right, just try to imagine this output, how it actually looks like. So for this particular date, the value or the total score by the female gender was 17. And now what will be the total score on the 31st of December? So that is simply the addition of these two, 23 plus 17, it will become 40, right? And after that, here for this 1st of January 2020, the value is 17. So if we add total summation till these 2 days, 40 and plus 17, it will become 57. So for each gender group, you can see it is a running count, right? Running some calculation for the score points, and our data is actually arranged in the ascending order of dates and even the, you can say, ascending order of gender as well. So that's the expectation here. So let's try to write a query, and first let me explain the approach for it. Approach is very simple here, nothing complex to understand. Here we are going to use the simple window function, and that window function will be sum, and we need to create a partition here, right? In the over clause, we need to even create a partition, and we need to provide something for the order by, so that running sum can be calculated. So it's very clear from this output that our partition key will be the gender here, And in order by, right, we want to calculate the running sum such that this day is actually arranged in the ascending order of the value. So in the order by, we will be using this day in the ascending order, and simply we will apply the sum window function on this score points column and it will calculate it for us. So let's write the solution for it. Select, and in output we need gender, comma, day, comma, sum of score points over partition by gender, order by day. By default it will be an ascending order, and we will give a alias name as total from scores table, and order by gender. Okay, so this is the simple query. This is the window function part we are applying here. So for each gender category we are creating a partition, and we are doing the order by on the day column, and taking the sum of score points will actually calculate the running sum for us. And the table is scores, and at the end we need to arrange the data in this order, right, based on the gender. So female first and then the male part. All right, so let's execute this query and let's verify our data here. So exactly same value we are getting here. If we can check this data, 17, 40, 57, 80 for this female gender group. So 17, 40, 57, 80, then 2, 13, 26, 29, 36, 2, 13, 26, 29, 36. So that is the simple solution. So here I would say this is the good practice problem for anyone who is just starting with the window function. So you'll get the idea how these running sum kind of queries can be written, because these are the very important questions when it comes to the interviews. Lots of questions you will face with respect to the window functions, and mostly, right, running sum, running average, these kind of questions are very, very common. Now let's move on to the third one. So this is our third problem statement, and the problem statement is the biggest single number. So let's look at the problem statement. Here it is saying that we will have a table name as my_numbers that contains many numbers in column num, right? This is the column name, including duplicated values as well. For each number we can say it can be repeated multiple number of times. Can you write a SQL query to find the biggest number which only appears once? All right, so let's look at the input data. Here we can see 8 is repeated multiple times, 3 repeated multiple times, but these 4 values 1, 4, 5, 6, they are not repeated, they are not duplicated in the input data, they have only appeared once. So according to the problem statement, so if we have such kind of values in this column which are only appearing once, so among those values we need to find the biggest one. So 1, 4, 5, 6, which one is the biggest value here? Obviously 6. So that is the simple problem statement we need to write. So what would be my approach here? I just need to first figure out what are those values, right, where they are just appearing once. How we can do that? If we simply take a group by on this number column, if we simply take the group by on the number column, right, and in the having clause, if we are eliminating all those records or those numbers which are appearing more than once, how we will be doing it? The clause will be like having count star equals to 1. So this having clause always works with the group by, right? So when we apply it, so within each group it will try to apply that function whatever we are writing in the having clause, right? Once that is done, simply whatever numbers are there which are satisfying that particular condition, after that we will simply apply the order by clause in the descending sequence, and after that we'll put limit 1 so that we are getting that biggest number in our output. All right, so let's write our query for this one. Select number from my numbers table and here group by number having count star 1 means only those. Now count star 1 means, let's say we are grouping this number. So for this number 8, the ultimate value we will get 2 because it has been appearing in this table 2 times. So if you take the count star for this number 8, it will be 2, but for these numbers it will be 1. That's why we have applied this condition. Means after performing only this segment of the query, we will be getting 1, 4, 5, 6. And after that, what we need to do? We need to just arrange this remaining output 1, 4, 5, 6 in the descending order, number descending, and after that I am simply applying limit 1 so that I can get only one output in my output table. All right, so let's execute this query and let's see what we get. So that was the expected output. You can see number 6, and that is something which is expected here as well. Now let's look at the fourth question of this video, which will be the last one. And the problem statement name is delete duplicate emails. So let's look at what we have in the input output. So write a SQL query to delete all duplicate email entries in a table named as person, keeping only unique emails based on its smallest ID. So this is the data where to column ID and email. So here you can see this email entry has been repeated multiple times in this table, but every time with a different ID. So we need to write a query so that these entries, these duplicated entries can be eliminated and only one distinct value for each email ID can be kept in the output table with its lowest ID, because for these two records, although email is duplicated, but in our output we want to keep this one, right, where the ID is smallest. So here it is also written note, right? You can see your output is the whole person table after executing your SQL. Use delete statement. That means first we need to write a delete operation, means we need to write a delete query, and then after that we need to write a select statement on the updated person table which we will be getting after the delete operation. So two SQL statements we need to write. But here how we are actually going to do that? So the idea is very simple. I am simply going to perform a lookup here. So what that lookup will be, we need to write the delete query. So delete from person table where this ID, right? I want to simply delete all those IDs which are not equivalent to the smallest ID for each email group. Means the simple idea is, in the lookup query, right, the lookup subquery, we need to write a query in such a way so that for each email value, right, I am going to pick the minimum ID. What is the minimum ID? And while performing the delete operation, I will not delete all those records. I will not delete all those records which are actually equivalent to this minimum ID. That means whatever will be the remaining records, those will be simply deleted. All right. So let's write a query for that one. Delete from person. All right. Where this ID column, where ID not in select minimum ID from person group by email. All right, and after that we will perform our select operation. Select star from person table. So first let's understand this part. So delete from person table where ID columns, right? These ID values not in means if we check inside this subquery, so what it is doing a simple group by on this email. right, group by on this email value, and it is trying to pick the minimum ID value for each email group. So here, right, for this, let's say this example, which is john@example.com, right, we have two IDs 1 and 3. So minimum will be 1 here. Similarly, if you take a group by on bob@example.com, it has only one record, right, not even duplicated. So what will be here? 2 here, right? So ultimately we can see 1, 2 will be present inside this subquery. Now how this delete part is working? It is doing a not in kind of lookup. So first it will be on this record. So obviously 1 is definitely present in this one, so that condition will become false. For 2, it definitely presents in this subquery part, so that will also become false. But here, when we come to this part, right, 3, so obviously ID 3 is something which is not present in this subquery part. So what will happen? That record will be deleted, because that is how we have applied our where clause. All right, and after that we are selecting the final result from the updated person table. So let's execute our data, and we will check what we are getting. So first delete operation happened, and after that in the updated person table we can see the expected output, means the record which was duplicated has been deleted, because in the output they were expecting from us to present data where for each email ID that record should be kept which is having the minimum ID, and that's what we are getting. So that's what I had for you guys in this video. I'm pretty sure you would have enjoyed it and liked this second part of our SQL interview playlist series. If you find it informative, if you enjoyed solving these questions, then make sure to hit the like button in the big numbers, and let me know in the comment section as well which concept of SQL do you want me to cover in the upcoming videos. I will definitely cover those type of questions as well. And also, if you are new to the channel, then hit the subscribe button and press the notification icon so that you can get the notification quickly for these amazing videos. And soon I will see you guys with the part 3 of our SQL playlist. So till then, just keep loving data.